Welcome to Bone Chills.
Out of all the movies I picked out to review, I had the hardest time trying to find a copy for this movie. I ended up purchasing my copy from a website that wasn't Amazon nor eBay. That was my first red flag. And then when I got the movie, this was the cover. Red flag number 2. And then the actual DVD itself. Well, at least the artwork is consistent. And finally, there was the movie. Now that I've watched it, I now know why it was so fucking hard to find. This is the Howling 7. New Moon Rising. This is something else. It's bad in all the right ways. This is on par with Neil Breen and Tommy Wiseau. Whenever you think of a werewolf movie, your mind immediately jumps to blood, gore, a gross transformation sequence, a scary werewolf design, and helpless victims set for the slaughter. But this is what we get instead.
But watch him love another before you're out the door.
For the record, I'm not shitting you. 95% of the runtime is dedicated to what you see here. Performance after performance after performance, and some random humor thrown in the middle.
I need a drink.
Because, it's a horror movie. You gotta have some random humor. So you're probably wondering, what the fuck do werewolves have to do with the plot? I mean, this is a Howling movie, right? Well, believe it or not, this movie does have a plot. Sort of. Our leading man is Ted, who was actually in the Howling 5. Apparently he was one of the few that didn't die, even though it's clearly shown he was attacked. I guess he was lucky. He must have walked it off when he was hiking down the snowy terrain in Budapest. Once again, this movie takes place in a small US desert town in the middle of nowhere. Ted makes his way to the town looking to start fresh. Wait, stranger looking to start fresh in a small desert town?
You know that drunk, the one you had the fight with last night?
Yeah. Disappeared. What's that got to do with me?
Hang on a second, isn't this how we started the last movie? Anyways, it turns out the werewolf from the Howling 5 knew that Ted survived its previous attack, so it's tracked him down to finish the job. Okay, let me get this straight. Our werewolf tracked Ted from the snowy mountains of Budapest now to a small town in the US. Okay, I guess I can get behind that. Movie logic at its finest. Speaking of absurd plot points, this movie actually tries to connect the Howling 4, 5, 6, and now 7. Turns out our leading man, Ted, is the director, Clive Turner, who also served as a writer and producer on Howlings 4 and 5. He didn't work on 6, but he still tries to connect that one to his series of movies. Meanwhile, there's a side story of a priest and an inspector who dish out exposition.
You want a subtitle that for me, Father?
The killer is a werewolf.
And more exposition.
The night before the team arrived at the castle, Count Shusko poisoned everyone.
Going all the way back to the Howling 4. They eventually get to talking about the plot of this movie, but all the new exposition thrown on the table makes you scratch your head and go, what the shit?
Your werewolf will be able to change others into its own kind.
Such as werewolves are now able to body swap and they even have fucking mind control.
Now, you said before that a werewolf can take over another person's identity.
At this point, you're probably wondering how much werewolf action is in this movie. Well, here's how much. You don't see the werewolf till the final scene of the movie, and this is what we get. It's great. As ridiculous as the movie is, I do have to give props to Clive Turner for trying to connect these 4 films together. So if you're curious and looking for a laugh, crack open a beer or roll up a joint and sit back and enjoy a terrifyingly funny time.
Where they don't make good drugs like they used to.